So I played 23 games this year, and it is tough to crown which is my favorite. But I'm not going to be doing a traditional countdown like everybody else. No, you guys opted to make it even harder by voting for me to do a sort of Kibiji Awards, where I'll be nominating and awarding winners in various categories. So thanks for that. No, I'm actually kind of curious how this is going to go, because these things have rarely cracked 1K views. So on screen here, these are the 10 categories I'll be going over, including what is my overall favorite game of the year. That category in particular, I'm still kind of deciding as I record this. What was painful in a different way, though, is this first category being the games I wish I played this year. All these, by the way, are in alphabetical order, and in this category, the nominees are Diablo 4, Hogwarts Legacy, Payday 3, Redfall, and Sea of Stars. And you guys might see Redfall and Payday 3 and go, why would that be on the games you wish you played? Look, I have Game Pass, and Game Pass, I love to try things. And as much as the bad word of mouth happened on Redfall, I still wanted to try that game. And Sea of Stars has had fantastic word of mouth, and I thought that was a great thing to just try thanks to Game Pass. But there's one clear winner here, and I'm happy because I got it for Christmas. Ever since I played the open beta for Diablo 4, I was in love with it, and I am not a Diablo player. My only experience is Minecraft Dungeons, but the open beta for Diablo 4 blew my mind. Yes, I know how there's a lot of people bashing on it after launch, but nonetheless, I wanted to continue that open beta experience, and now I finally can, and that's what I wanted to do the past 6 months, but I was waiting for the ABK deal to close in the hopes that it came to Game Pass. Easily the game I wish I played the most this year that might have been in some of these other categories, but because I didn't play it, first let's hit a category that I think a lot of people kind of undermine, and that is favorite multiplayer. Multiplayer is amazing, and I think that's something that should not be taken for granted. I love multiplayers, fun fact. I think I prefer them a lot of the times over single players. I might eat those words, though, when the Game of the Year category comes up. But the 3 winners of this I want to shout out is Best Party Game, Party Animals. This was one of my most anticipated games of the year, and it did not disappoint. It was exactly what I wanted as a party game. It is just fun shenanigans that I literally cry of laughter when I play this with friends. If you just want to have a funny, fun time with people, Party Animals is that game. It is the party game of the year. Best ongoing game, this is where I've got a lot of fan base, Halo Infinite. This was the year I made plenty of content about this, about how Halo Infinite is now that game that me and a lot of other people wanted to be at launch. And it is exactly that. The firefight with the Forge, with the AIs, with the new lack of FOMO, you know, like there's so much about this game that is so much more fun now, so many playlists. Halo Infinite is my favorite ongoing game this year, but I might be slightly letting it go because of what might be the actual winner of this category. That would be the finals. The finals is the freshest first-person shooter multiplayer PvP I have played in so many years. Not since Battlefield 1 has there been a first-person shooter PvP game that has made me so in love with it. That wasn't Halo. Halo is like the only first-person shooter I actually love as a multiplayer and will hop in almost whenever. But now the finals is starting to steal it away from me. It's finally breaking the stranglehold that Halo Infinite has had on me, and that's just because the destruction, the dynamic gameplay, the aesthetics of it, the announcement, everything about it is just FUN. Fun. But back to the traditional way of doing things where there is nominees for my favorite indie game of the year. And hey, if you want to say some of these are indie games, that's fine. But to me, I consider them indie games. And those nominees are Cocoon, Jusant, Mondili, Party Animals, and Planet of Lana. And special shout out to Mondili, by the way. Like, that was sort of a sponsored thing that they sent me the game to play, and I really did enjoy it. It was a really solid, game that was kind of hard to put down with that 2-bit style. And I've already talked about Party Animals, but really, it's between two here, and that's Planet of Lana and Cocoon. These are the 2 easy favorite indie games of the year to me, but it's gonna have to go to Cocoon. Because Cocoon, fun fact, is the one and only game this year I personally give a 10 out of 10. I think it is a perfect game. I don't know if it'll make it to the favorite category. Stay tuned. But criticism-wise, I have nothing. I have nothing but praise to give this game with how well it's designed, for it being this studio's first game, the just overall atmosphere, and the absolutely mind-breaking puzzles that you have to figure out that literally kind of make me sound like I'm on mushrooms or something while I play it. Do not miss out on Cocoon. It is my indie game of the year. And something I've done in previous years is award like my favorite non-2023 game. So let's kind of do that in this category, which I only have 3 games to shout out, being Cult of the Lamb, Immortality, and Young Souls for my favorite non-2023 game that I played this year. And while Young Souls is an awesome co-op game and Immortality was a really trippy experience, hands down, Cult of the Lamb is the winner of this. Cult of the Lamb is fantastic. I had a fantastic time streaming it with my Twitch community. I streamed there if you didn't know, twitch.tv/Kibiji. And if I played Cult of the Lamb last year, it would not have topped Elden Ring, but it would have easily made it to the top 5. Cult of the Lamb is so much fun with just the management that you do, growing your cult, having little drama that happens, like a cult member just being like, hey, I want you to make Steffi eat Nike Boy's poop. That actually happened. With some fun roguelike combat in between, but really, it's fun to just manage the camp and have that kind of Newgrounds mature Animal Crossing-like game. This category I'm about to bring up is gonna raise some pitchforks, but I just want to bring it up to see what you guys might have to say about it, including what might be yours. Yes, this isn't a favorite game. It's kind of the opposite. My biggest disappointment of the year. Disappointment doesn't mean a game was bad. It's just a game that I either had hopes for or expectations for, or just something that it really didn't live up to that bar that I was hoping that it would do for me in a year that was filled with that for other games. The nominees for this goes to Final Fantasy XVI, Horizon Forbidden West, the Metroid Prime Remaster, Starfield, and The Last Case of Benedict Fox. And all these games hurt in some way. Like Horizon Forbidden West, that was one of my most anticipated games of 2022, and it did disappoint, like a lot of the games in this list. But most disappointing easily has to go to I'm kidding. No, it's The Last Case of Benedict Fox. The Last Case of Benedict Fox, when I first saw it, it looked like such a neat, just art style Victorian, I forget what it's called, but it just seemed like a cool Metroidvania-like game, and I literally couldn't even get through it. It was so painful to play with how just, I'm gonna say, bad it was. If you enjoyed it, that's fine, but as somebody that was looking forward to the game, I could say at the least, it did not come near what I was hoping it would be. And I know a lot of console warriors are gonna be like, why is Starfield on this list? Comment and ask me if you want to know that. But for now, I'm going to highlight Starfield in this next category. And this category is a fun one because this is how I played a lot of these games, being the best Game Pass value. This is the game that I think is a game that I just really couldn't believe I got to play it thanks to Game Pass. I didn't have to purchase the full price thing, even though after I played it, I felt like maybe I should have because of just how awesome it is or how time consuming it can be. So the nominees for the best value game of Game Pass goes to the console version of Age of Empires 4, Atomic Heart, Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, and Starfield. There's Starfield for you. And I say Starfield because even though the game isn't quite as engaging and fun as I want it to be, there is still a lot to do in that game. Like, I could imagine, and I've already seen it, people sink hundreds of hours into that game and are still not done. And while I like Hi-Fi Rush more than Starfield, I have to give this to Lies of P. And the reason I say that is not because I necessarily like Lies of P the most in this list. It's because it's a game that I'm shocked that I got thanks to Game Pass. Like Age of Empires, Hi-Fi Rush, and Starfield, those are first-party games. I'm going to get those with Game Pass. But Lies of P is a third-party thing. If you haven't played it, it's chunky. It took me well over the amount of hours that I thought it would take me to beat it. And the production value, the story, the combat, it's a really, really well-produced game that, again, like halfway into it, I'm just like, I can't believe I am playing this thanks to Game Pass, and I feel like this is something that I would have bought and should have bought. In the next couple categories, I'm not really going to have nominees. So before that, let's have one that has a bunch of nominees. And that's me kind of cheating and combining what is favorite music and art direction. Just both those combined. What game had some serious style to it that, in terms of specifically music and art direction, that really just resonated with me, and it felt like something that I don't get that often, that just, again, particular to me, it was a really fresh take. Anyways, the nominee for Kibi favorite music art direction goes to Cocoon, Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, Jusant, Lies of P, Planet of Lana, and Starfield. Starfield's on this list because I thought music-wise, that game had some very standout music. Cocoon had great atmosphere, and Final Fantasy 16 had fantastic graphics and really good music too. And I haven't really talked about Jusant when it came up in indie earlier, but this was another game. Like, as I was playing it, I felt like the overall presentation of it just felt kind of like Journey, you know? But the winner of this category, no question to me, goes to Planet of Lana. This was one of my 2 most anticipated indie games of the year because of the presentation of this game. It has that look and feel of the, you know, like Limbo and Inside Studio, but a much more lighter tone. And not only that, but this tone that just kind of feels like a John Williams adventure. I can't really describe it. And that's why I personally want to pick it for this winner of like favorite music and art direction, because it just has this tone and feel that makes it seem like some kind of 4-hour blockbuster lighthearted adventure that you're going on, which, by the way, put me in tears probably a couple times. It was just one of those quickie indies that was a game that made me love the gaming medium with just the way it overall felt and was presented. As we get closer to my favorite game of the year, I hope I haven't set you off too much with this list. Just know it's all just my personal opinion. Ours aren't going to line up. But before that, 2 more quick shout outs, and leave a like if you're enjoying this. I'm really curious how this is going to go as a video. I don't think I really have nominees for my favorite narrative of 2023, and I just want to instantly give it to Spider-Man 2. I know a lot of people say Spider-Man 2's story is very predictable, and in some ways it is, but to me, it's about the delivery and the story it has to tell, the characters, the performances. I thought Spider-Man 2 was such a well-condensed 20-hour venture that really made me feel with the characters, were performed super well, visually felt right, and I just felt immersed in the experience, and it didn't. There's this gamey effect. It's the reason why Final Fantasy 16 is in the disappointment area, where I am pulled out of the story because I feel like I'm playing a game. Spider-Man 2 rode that line very well without crossing it. And as my second most anticipated game of the year, it did not disappoint. Another shout out is my favorite open world game of the year, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom at first worried me as a sequel to Breath of the Wild, which is between that and Elden Ring as my favorite open world game of all time. And at first it disappointed, being a bit slow, but eventually I got in the rhythm of just building things and traversing this huge open world that has multiple layers to it in so many different ways, and having multiple reasons of going back and forth between each of the layers, between getting stuff in these Kajingo machines, I forget the name of those, going underground to get certain materials to upgrade your battery, and then going to the middle to upgrade that battery, and blah, 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 blah. Like, there's reasons to bounce around this map and to keep exploring it, and I have not beaten the game. Maybe if I did, it would have made it into my Game of the Year category, because spoilers, it in Baldur's Gate is not in there. That's right. For my favorite game of 2023, the nominees are, and I'm still struggling right now, Cocoon, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Pikmin 4, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I'm really happy to say this list is made up of a lot of games that I was highly anticipating that did not disappoint. I'm really grateful for that. If there's a weakest link here for me, it's probably going to be Spider-Man 2. Cocoon is a flawless game to me. I have no criticism for it. But even with that, I don't think it is my favorite game of the year. Hell, I almost put the finals in this list, but I have reasons why I didn't. Hi-Fi Rush, best Xbox game of the year. If that was a category, easily, my favorite Xbox game this year was Hi-Fi Rush. It was so awesome with its just art direction, with its just fun combat and style. Like, I'm shocked that I didn't give it to that in the favorite music and art direction category, but it kicked off the year in such a strong way. And Pikmin 4, oh, Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 was my most anticipated game this year, and not only did it not disappoint, it managed to rise above the hopes that I had, and that is something truly special when you get to experience with the game that you've been looking forward to for a freaking decade. I certainly didn't get that with Kingdom Hearts 3, but I got it with Pikmin 4. This is really hard. Star Wars Jedi Survivor was the one game this year that I was kind of just thinking about it while I wasn't playing it. I wanted to keep playing it, and I was having so much fun with it. My roommate walks by and is like, these cutscenes are kind of wild, and I'm like, yeah, they are. I don't care about the performance crap that this game got, because I just played it on quality mode. I had, in my opinion, my favorite experience of the whole year in quality mode. I don't care. Its combat was so damn engaging, and the progression felt really rewarding, and just lean into whichever lightsaber style that you want. And I was engaged with the story. Hell, like, they improved so much from Fallen Order, and I liked Fallen Order. I loved Jedi Survivor. And it really is interchangeable with Hi-Fi Rush and Pikmin 4. God, it hurts me not to put Pikmin 4. The only reason I think I have to give this to Jedi Survivor is because it is the only game this year that I was just wanting to play at the end of the day when I knew I still had hours to go before I could. So, Kibiji Game of the Year goes to the game that very few people are going to give it to. And maybe that's why I pick it, for the controversy. And that's Star Wars Jedi Survivor. But if there were other categories I didn't think of, there was a couple that I was really actually kind of debating adding to this. Drop them in the comments, I'll answer. Like, literally, I will answer them if you just drop it. But I'm also really looking forward to seeing what your picks for each of the categories I thought of, or just feel free, just list your favorite games. That's the whole point of this channel, is for us to openly and not bashing each other's takes. This is a respectful community, and we had an awesome time in 2023 speculating stuff. So I hope to have one last hurrah with you in the comments down below. And 2024, here we come.